Hello. Okay, I'll just give it a couple of seconds, see if people jump on. Hello. Hi. Hello, thank you for joining me here. My name's Jem. I'm a knitting designer, yarn dyer and owner of Under the Olive Tree Knits, which is an online knitting website where you can find patterns, yarns, knitting kits and lots of other knitting goodies as well. So you can find me on Instagram at Olive Tree Jem, and that's Jem with a J. And you can also find my website, which is www.undertheolivetreenknits.com. So this is my first time at the Yorkshire Yarn Fest and I'm really happy to be here. It's been an absolutely brilliant day so far and I've loved watching all of the videos. And I've really enjoyed seeing people's different interpretations of the midsummer theme as well. So I've joined in with the theme this time and I am going to show you my take on midsummer. So this is the yarn that I have dyed called Midsummer. So this is on a 4-ply sock base, so it's a 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. And to me, midsummer, when I saw the brief, I immediately thought of like lovely bright sunshiny colours. I mean, it's usually festival season, so I wanted to get some neons in there and just make a really eye-catching skein basically. So yeah, so this is Midsummer and I'll show you what it looks like opened up as well, so you can see. Actually the light's not very good in here, but it's got some neon yellows, it's got greens, pinks, purples, blues, pretty much most of the colours in there actually. So that is Midsummer. And I'm also really excited today because I, as well as launching this new Midsummer colourway, which is going to be a regular on the website, I'm also releasing a free shawl pattern today, and I'm going to show that to you now. And this is called Reach for the Stars, and it's a 1 skein shawl pattern. And this sample was actually knitted with the Midsummer colourway, so you can see how the colours kind of all work together and how they knit up and how they look. So the shawl, it's an asymmetric 1 skein shawl, and you start knitting at the tip here and then you just use some knit front back increases and knit 2 together decreases to create the kind of narrow triangle shape, and then you just knit a long stretch of stockinette and that really shows off a skein of colourful yarn. So this pattern will work for any skein of 4-ply yarn, anything from 400 metres to 425 will work. So if you've got a really nice jazzy skein in your stash somewhere, or if you buy some yarn today, then this pattern would be perfect for a one-off sock yarn. So yeah, so you knit the stockinette section and then you get to the lace, which is the lace stitch is just a yarn over knit 2 together stitch, which if you haven't done it before, it's really simple. You just basically bring the yarn to the front of the needle, wrap it round and then knit the next 2 stitches together to create this kind of eyelet pattern. So yeah, so it really is knit, purl, knit front back, knit 2 together and yarn over stitches are all you need to be able to knit the shawl. And the pattern is written, actually I'll show you. So this is the pattern that's going to be available for download. So as soon as I've finished this live, I'm going to be uploading the pattern onto the website, which will be available as a free download, and I'll also be uploading the Midsummer yarn colourway as well, so that will be available on the website. But this is the pattern that you'll get when you download it, and you've got are all your colours also available on BFL? I do have a range of BFL as well, and most of my colours are repeatable, so if you see a colourway that you like and it's not on the BFL, you can just drop me a message and I will happily dye it up for you on the BFL base. As long as it's not listed as a one of a kind colourway, I can recreate the colourways that I do. So yeah, this is the pattern that you'll get, and there's also some information on there because I'm going to be running a knit along as well for this, which will start as soon as the pattern's released, and that will run until the end of August, so August the 31st. So it's a free pattern and a knit along, and there will be some prizes as well, which I'm really excited to announce. So yeah, so the pattern lists everything you need. It's got all the abbreviations used, and there's also links to video tutorials as well for all of the stitches that are used. And then the pattern's written out in sections to make it really easy to follow. So you can see there that each of the lace section has its own paragraph. And it uses stitch markers as well to mark off the repeat, so it's really easy to keep track of where you are. There's a little diagram for blocking at the end, and then there's also a really handy stitch count checklist as well at the back, so as you work each row you can tick it off and just make sure that you've got the right amount of stitches as you go. So yeah, this is Reach for the Stars, and what's really nice about this pattern as well is that you can keep knitting it for as long as your yarn allows. So you'll see when you get to the end here, there's a garter stitch border. So once you finish this final lace section, you can just keep knitting for as long as your skein will allow. Joan's patterns are written so beautifully, easy to understand. Oh, thank you so much, Claire. That's really kind, thank you. So yeah, so this is the sample I made in the Midsummer colourway, and then I also want to show you another sample I made in a different colourway. So this is a slightly darker colourway, and this one is called Celestial Ballet. And thank you to Claire for helping me name this skein as well, because when I dyed it I wasn't sure what to call it, and Claire suggested Celestial Ballet, and yeah, so that's the name of this colourway which I used to make this sample. And the reason I made another sample was because I wanted to check that the pattern would work for a skein with 400 metres, because the Midsummer skein has 425 metres, and the Sparkle Sock, which is the base for Celestial Ballet, has 400 metres. So I just wanted to work a sample and make sure that the pattern would work for both amounts of yarn, and as you can see it does. The only thing is with the 400 is you get less of a garter stitch border at the end. And as the pattern's written in sections, if you do feel like you're running low on yarn, as you come to the end you can stop after any of the sections and then go straight onto the border to finish it. So it really is great for making the most of all of your yarn. The shawl is knitted using a 3.75 millimetre needle. This is an 80 cm, so anything from 80 to 100 cm circular needle will work, and you'll also need 12 stitch markers as well to mark off the repeat sections. Kits are available as well. They'll be available on the website, so you can choose your colour from any of the yarns available, of the 4-ply yarns available on the website. So choose your colour, and then you can choose whether you want to add the needle and a tin of stitch markers as well to your kit. And there's also an option to print and post the pattern as well, so if you wanted a printed copy of the pattern, that can be included as well. So these make great gifts as well, because they come in a really nice organza bag. So if you're looking for a little treat for yourself or a knitter in your life, then do check out the knitting kits. I have quite a few different designs available as knitting kits. So yeah, that's the free pattern, and as I say, the pattern and the yarn will be available to download as soon as I've finished here. So I hope you like it. And as I say, there's a knit along which you can join in on Instagram, and you can also join in my Facebook group as well, which is Under the Olive Tree Knitters, if you'd like to come and join that too. So yeah, one of my favourite things to design actually is a one skein shawl, and I do have quite a lot of different patterns and kits available on the website that will make the most of a skein of yarn. So I'll just show you another one here, which is called Night Watch, and again this is just sections of stockinette and yarn over, knit two together stitches to create these really big zigzaggy sections. And for the asymmetric shawls as well, they're really good for using skeins that have big colour changes. So if you've got something, so this shawl here was knitted with a skein of Flying Saucers, which is this colourway here, and as you can see it's got really big sections of colour changes, and quite often with yarns like this they have a tendency to pull if you're knitting in the round, or if you're knitting things where the stitch count doesn't change. So with an asymmetric shawl, these are really great for using those kind of colourways where you have big sections of colour, because it does distribute them quite well. So this one is called Night Watch, and again that's available on the website. Oh my goodness, I am running out of time. Okay, so I do have, as I say, lots of other one skein shawl patterns on the website. This is Easy Street, this is another asymmetric shawl, and this is, this one's really fun to make actually, because it looks like it's lace, but it's not. It's a long garter stitch. So when you come to knit the stitch, you wrap the yarn around the needle 3 times, and then when you come back you drop those yarn overs off, and it creates this really lovely long stitch which works beautifully with a really colourful skein. And with the Easy Street pattern as well, there's 2 versions, so you get this version and then there's also this version which has a bigger garter stitch stripe in between the long garter stitch. So they are great for showing off colourful yarns. And yeah, and if I also have some patterns for semi-solid yarns as well. So ones what have a little bit more lace, so where you have the lace more as a feature rather than the colour of the yarn. And this one is called Safe Harbour, and this was knitted in a silk and merino yarn. In this shade actually, this is called Shades of Ocean. So I have quite a few shades of colourways in the shop, which are great. Again, this was a one skein shawl, so, and yes, it's quite good actually. They're quite big for a one skein shawl. They are really nice to wear. So yeah, I think I'm running out of time, so I don't want to start on anything else, but as I said, I've got lots of lovely, this is just a small selection of some of the 4-ply yarns that I have in the shop. I've got the 75% merino, 25% nylon, I've got sparkle sock, I've got BFL, I've got 100% superwash merino, and also the 50% silk and 50% merino skeins as well. So these are all the 4-ply range, and then I do have lace, anything from lace up to chunky as well, I have on the website. So please do go and check it out. It's www.undertheolivetreenits.com. I cannot believe how quickly my time has gone, so thank you so much for joining me. If you want to join in the knit along and download the pattern, they'll be available in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to go and upload those now. And yeah, if you want to join in, it would be absolutely lovely to see you and see your shawls. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye bye.